Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer. We are dealing with the Penal Code, the law that punishes crime in this country. We have just finished theft. Now we are dealing with robbery. Are you a robber? Have you ever seen a robber? What is the difference between robbery and robbery with violence? Keep watching. Here we bring it as it is. 295, Section 295, the definition of robbery. Any person who steals anything and at or immediately before or immediately after the time of stealing it, at the time of stealing, one uses or threatens to use actual violence. If you threaten to use actual violence at the time you are stealing, before you steal it, at the time of stealing, and after stealing, you threaten to use violence. What does that mean? Use actual violence to any person or property in order to obtain or retain the thing stolen, or to prevent or overcome resistance to its being stolen or retained, is guilty of a felony termed robbery. If you threaten, remember you are alone, you get somebody with a phone, you threaten that, give me that phone or else I'll kill you. Or at the time you have already gotten hold of the phone, you say, I'm going with this phone. If you resist, I'll kill you. Or after you have taken the phone, you tell that person, if you resist, I'll destroy this phone. The threat is to the person who is the owner. The threat is also on the property. That is robbery. It's very different from robbery with violence. You don't need to be armed. You only threaten. If you joke, I will harm you. That is robbery. What does the law say? Punishment for robbery. Any person who commits the felony of robbery under Section 296 is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. If you rob anybody, you go in for 14 years. Now, that is where things are coming hot. 296B, that is Section 296(2). If the offender is armed with any dangerous or offensive weapon or instrument, or is in company with one or more other people or persons, or immediately before or immediately after the time of the robbery, he wounds, beats, strikes, or uses any other personal violence to any other person, he shall be sentenced to death. Get it? If you are robbing and you are armed, whether with a stone, whether with a kitchen knife, whether with a sword, whether with a rungu, so long as you are armed with any weapon, number one, you'll go in for life imprisonment. If you are armed at the time of robbery, if you are armed with a bottle of soda which can harm, if you are armed with a matchbox, if you are armed with a kitchen knife, that you are going to go for life imprisonment. Number 2, at the time of the robbery, if the robbers are 2, so long as they are more than 1 person, if the robbers are 2, 3, 4, 5, have you seen those boys who snatch phones? They are normally 2, 3. All of them are normally sentenced to life imprisonment. So long as at the time, that's before the robbery, or during the robbery, or after the robbery, if they were 2, they will go in for life imprisonment. Third, if at the time of the robbery, the person, the victim, is injured, is wounded, it does not matter whether it is a scratch. It does not matter whether it is a sprain. It does not matter whether it is a punch. You hit that person with a blunt object. If he is wounded, if she is wounded, my friend, you are snatching a woman her bag. Normally women put their bags here. There is a strap. That strap hurts the lady. You'll go in for life imprisonment. You are stealing a phone. Somebody is walking, talking with his phone. You hit the hand so that the phone falls down. You pick it and leave. The hand feels pain. If you are found and convicted, you'll go in for life imprisonment. Wow. Did you know this? It is not a joke to rob anybody. Neither to steal. Stealing, we reach the maximum, it's 14 years for animals. Here, if you rob somebody, it's life imprisonment. Then we have what we call, it is a sentence of death. You will go for a death sentence. What a punishment. Robbery, the punishment is death. Avoid robbery. And I've told you, robbery is so simple. Just you are 2 people robbing somebody, death sentence. You wound or injure that person, you are death sentence. You are armed, death sentence. Why do you want to get into this? Put jeans off, put your trousers off, put your skirt off, put running shoes and run away from crime, because it is very, very costly. Then suppose you want to rob and it fails. The guy you want to rob, Lewis tells me, he's a serious karateka. At one time, they wanted to rob. He hit them hard. They ran away. What is the offense called? Attempted robbery. Any person who assaults any person with the intent to steal anything but fails to steal that thing, you will go in for 7 years. If you attempted to rob, you'll go in for 7 years. But if, number 2, if the offender is armed with any dangerous or offensive weapon or an instrument, if the person robbing is armed with any dangerous weapon, he will go in for death sentence. So long as you are armed, you attempt to rob, you go in for death sentence. 2, if he is in a company of one or more than two people, at the time they are attempting to rob, if there are 2 or 3 or 4, death sentence. Free if they injure, if they wound, if they beat, if they hurt the victim, death sentence. Remember, you attempted, it failed, but you are going in for death sentence. Can you imagine? It is not a joke to rob. Then we have an assault with intent to steal. You assault somebody with an intention to steal. We have dealt with the assault. You'll go in for 5 years as provided for in 298. Then we have 299, demanding property by written threats. Have you written a threat to somebody on WhatsApp? If I don't get this property, you will see. What does the law say? Any person who with intent to extort or gain anything from any person, and knowing the contents of the writing, causes any person to receive any writing demanding anything from any person without reasonable or probable cause, and containing threats of any injury or detriment of any kind to be caused to any person, either by the offender or any other person, if the demand is not complied with, is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. Writing a threatening message. If you don't send me this money, you'll be beaten. I will send thugs to deal with you. You will face the consequences. You send a text message. You send a WhatsApp message. My brother, my sister, 14 years behind bars. You'll be like this, behind bars for 14 years for sending a threatening message for the purpose of extorting somebody money or property. Then we have what we call attempts at extortion by threats. If you threaten somebody by you want to extort that person money and you send threats under section 300, any form of solicitation or threat to any person, if you are found, you'll go in for 3 years. It is not material that the threat was never executed. Section 301, procuring execution of deeds by threats. You tell people, if you don't execute this deed, mutanijua, you will know, you'll face consequences. If you'll go in for 14 years. And lastly, demanding property by menaces. What does menaces mean? This is MENACES. That's section 302. Any person who, with intent to steal any valuable thing, demands it from any person with menaces or force is guilty of felony and is liable to imprisonment for 10 years. Wewe utanijua, lete hiyo kitu ama nitakutoa meno. Do you know who we are? Menaces, threats, intimidation, showing that you can destroy that person. Lete hiyo haraka, lete mkono yako, toa hiyo saa ama tutakuchapa. That is demanding by menaces. My friend, hiyo kifua yako, you'll go in for 10 years. Wakili Danstan Omari has brought you what is called robbery. It is very dangerous. It is not an easy thing. Avoid anywhere where robbery is. I have told you, if a phone was stolen somewhere and somebody was killed and you bought that phone on the streets, you'll be arrested and be jailed for robbery. And you were never there. So long as the phone that you have stolen was stolen by an act of robbery. If you are found with it, you will go in for robbery. A laptop that you have, a handset that you have, if it was out of robbery, whoever buys it will go in for the offense of robbery. Avoid buying phones from unregistered shops. Make sure when you buy a phone, it's from a dealer, be issued with a receipt, and keep that receipt. If later it is found out that that phone was robbed from somebody, you'll produce evidence that you went to the shop, a Safaricom shop, a Galaxy shop, and you bought a phone from a licensed shop. You'll avoid going to jail. Wakili Danstan Omari, bringing it to you as it is. We are now moving to burglary. Do you know there's a difference between robbery and burglary? Keep watching the next episode. Don't miss it. It brings to you the offense of burglary. All the best in this new year. From Court Helicopter News, Wakili Danstan Omari.